Is it true that this time it looks like Raila Odinga doesn't want anything for himself as an individual?
Who? Raila Odinga?
Yes, sir, but he's already said that I do not want a handshake.
Raila Odinga, I know.
Yes, sir.
Nothing like that. Unless we have Raila from the planet Mars who has landed in Kenya.
I'll be coming back to you on that, because then there are 3 things that he wants changed, and that's why we're in the street today. Seth, you see, Elias is completely saying that this one Raila Odinga that I know wants something, wants a handshake, wants a share in this particular government. Do you believe that Raila Odinga will say that I do not want anything to do with this government, want something in this government?
No. Raila Odinga, from the time immemorial, before the Kenya Kwanza government came into into government, the Kenya Kwanza people came into government, Raila Odinga existed, and Raila Odinga is known as a staunch freedom fighter, and he's a man who loves his country. He's a man who can sit back and relax and watch his people suffer. So there is actually nothing that he wants from the government, but he is still trying to fight for the rights and privileges of his people, which seem to be curtailed by the Kenya Kwanza government.
In a nutshell, when he says, I do not want a handshake, and you hear what the DP is saying, you hear what the president is saying, that we do not want to give you a handshake. Who is telling the truth here? Is it 2 gentlemen who are fighting over something that they do not want? How do we decipher who wants what in this entire conversation?
I can say that Raila could be right, but because these people think he is a threat to their government, because this will portray a sign of weak government, and that will means loss of confidence in the government. They will, in all ways possible, try to protect themselves. So when they say we do not want a handshake with Raila, and then Raila says I do not want a handshake, then there is something that the government is trying to hide when Raila could be right. Yes.
Pretty much. So today, essentially, and that's what I want to ask. But when you listen to the words of Dr. President William Ruto rather, he's saying that ujamaa tunamjua, ujamaa ametesa watu wa Nyanza. In one way or another.
Yes.
Seth, nyi kama watu wa Nyanza mmeteswa kweli na Raila Odinga?
No. I would like to say that it was very relevant to hear the president of Kenya talking like that about Raila. He's saying ametesa watu wa Nyanza. All the days that Raila has been in power, he has not been in power for only people of Nyanza. He's been in power and fought for rights and freedoms and everything for the country, and maybe going international, Africa as a whole. So I don't understand why the president will say that Raila has persecuted people from Nyanza. Or maybe he should give us more details as well why he's saying that Raila has persecuted people from Nyanza. That's where I don't understand him. Very relevant of the president saying that from his mouth.
Pretty much. But I want us to go out on a break like this. And I want to take you back to what the president did say. It's like, well, ujamaa tunamjua ametesa watu wa Nyanza. In any way, Elias, we look and say watu wa Nyanza wameteswa hivi na hivi. So that now we do know then who Raila Odinga is in his true colors.
Yeah. Amewatesa.
Watesa aje bwana?
Amewatesa. Look, no.
Seth amekataa, anasema tujateswa bwana.
No, Seth at the beginning Seth alisema Raila Odinga can do anything without somebody's advice or permission. So these are laws. Like they tend to be like they worship this human being Raila Odinga. Like whatever he says, whether it is right or wrong, they'll go by. They'll go with it. When other individuals, or let me say other tribes in the state, are like, no, we don't have to go this way. But because it's Raila Odinga, these laws, like their mindset. I don't know whether their half of the mindset is like written Raila or what.
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
Across the board, you would say that this is not essentially a low community protest today, because we've seen Raila Odinga was in Kiambu the other day. You would say was in Nakuru the other day. They're tough, you would say, for the president, that is Dr. President William Ruto, and he's got support across the board, which is what we're going to come back to and talk about today, because Raila Odinga has floated 3 issues. That is number 1, cost of living; number 2, opening of the IEBC service; and number 3, the big one indeed, that is really mad headwinds with IEBC commissioning. That is exactly what we're going to come back and talk about. And once we come back, we're going to return with what Raila Odinga did say yesterday as regards what we expect